How about some actual details from the Yankees meeting with Juan Soto? What's going on, everybody? Good morning. Hope you're all doing well. Happy Wednesday. It's hump day. Okay, I have some details, some information reporting on details that took place with the Yankees meeting with Juan Soto and Scott Boras. Omar Minaya was there. Brian Cashman was there. Aaron Boone was there. Hal Steinbrenner was there. Hal Steinbrenner being there is an important thing because he's fully invested in Juan Soto and bringing him back. Okay, and this is some reporting from Bob Klapisch, who tends to be a little bit more of a realistic reporter when it comes to stuff like this. Right now, we're getting a lot of John Heyman and Scott Boras talking points. John Heyman peddling Scott Boras talking points and whatever. I get it. I also understand people having concerns about this and whatnot. But my question is, why are these concerns only coming out now that one or two channels have talked about them? Where were these concerns before? Last year, we wanted the best. We wanted a contact hitter who could do things from the left-handed side. We got the best one in the game in Juan Soto. Now, folks are complaining about his glove. He has a fielding percentage of .993 this year. His career, .988. Okay? He very rarely makes an error. And something to keep in mind, too. When you're playing the corner position, it's different than center field. When you're in center field, no matter which direction you go, the outfielder can get out of the way. Doesn't apply to a corner outfielder. When you're running towards center field, okay. When you're running towards the wall's not going to move. You're going to crash into it. It's a different attack than center field, who has a lot more room. And if center field is not going to crash into the corner infield wall, the corner infielder will. So just for a pointer, as a point of reference, because a lot of folks are criticizing his fielding. Okay. Where was this before? My question is, why are people only doing it now that a couple of YouTubers are doing it? Why? That's my question. Just a question. Okay? Valid concerns are valid concerns. I get it. But you know me. When people use other people's talking points, I am going to call it out. Especially if somebody cannot explain their position. I'm not going to block people for having a different opinion. Opinions are always welcome. It makes the channel better. But if we're going to use other people's talking points, it's going to get called out. Period. Okay? Now, back to this meeting, which is an important meeting. Yes, I met with the Dodgers yesterday. I'm not really hearing much about that either. The Phillies going to meet with him too. This is not a surprise. He said he was going to give every willing team an opportunity to be heard and listen to point and so on and so forth. It's essentially an introductory, setting themselves up for the bids, which are probably going to be made during the winter meetings. Right? I don't think these bids. There's no corroboration on that $660 million offer that was apparently made, according to Carlos Baerga and peddled by Hector Gomez. No corroboration anywhere. Okay? So I'm not going with that as my argument here. And I'm not going to spend my time comparing Juan Soto to Shohei Ohtani or talking about the Mets and so on and so forth. Yankees aren't doing it. I'm not doing it. Right? And the fact of the matter is, Shohei Ohtani is a great player. There's no doubt about it. He's a generational player just like Juan Soto, but he could not do in New York what he did in LA. And he would have been eaten alive during that whole gambling thing with his interpreter. He would have been eaten alive here, despite MLB looks like the MLB is trying to covering up for him and so on. Whatever. He's not here. He's a perfect fit for LA, just like Juan Soto's a perfect fit for New York. So comparing him to Shohei Ohtani is absolutely pointless, right? He's perfect for this team, and I want him to come back to this team. And we already know he's going to be expensive. How expensive? We'll find out. But a couple of things that I wanted to point out, and this is straight from Bob Klapisch. Hal Steinbrenner did tell Juan Soto that he will make improvements in other areas on top of bringing Juan Soto back. This is not Juan Soto and nobody else, despite what we're hearing from a lot of folks, right? We're also hearing from a couple of channels who are peddling the same nonsense. I get it, because sometimes beat writers peddle it, and sometimes people use the beat writers' talking points as their own. I get it. Happens. Okay. But until we actually see what happens, it's all speculation. It's all noise. Okay. But Hal did tell Juan Soto, and this is reporting from Bob Clappish, he did tell Juan Soto that he's going to make improvements beyond Juan Soto. He's going. I've said this too. He's going to. He's having. He wants him to come back to a better team than he came back to in 2024. Now we know if he comes back, Cole back, it's going to be a very good team anyway. Okay, but they need to address other areas. Like I said, Soto does not address the bullpen. He does not address the infield. They've got to address both of those areas on top of figuring out whether they can bring Juan Soto back or not. And then if he doesn't come back, they have to address the outfield too. So there's still a lot of decisions that need to be made. And there's potentially starting rotation questions. And that all it really depends on whether they're going to trade Nestor Cortez and Marcus Stroman to clear up salary. If they do that, I expect them to bring a starting pitcher in, either via trade or free agency. Maybe someone not even thinking about. Who knows? Okay, so Friday's the non-tender deadline. I think the Yankees are going to non-tender some players. If you haven't heard, last night they added 2 players to the 40-man, a catcher. I was going to Jesus Rodriguez and Caleb Durbin to the 40-man to protect them from the Rule 5 draft. Everybody else is left exposed, right? So, and adding that catcher suggests to me that they're likely going to trade Jose Trevino too. So we know that the Rays are looking for depth at catcher. Maybe you can trade Jose Trevino to the Rays for maybe a reliever. Something like that. Just a thought. I don't know. We'll see. But that's why I said make sure you're subbed to this channel. If you're not, make sure you're all your notifications are turned on. Because news is going to continue to come in. We are 2 weeks away from the winter meetings. And there's going to be a lot of Yankee activity. So I don't want you to miss any of it. And I thank you so much for that. Okay? But this, what was actually said by Hal Steinbrenner, okay, at the meeting. Okay? He did not, somebody said he did not tell Soto's dad that he wasn't going to go beyond. That is baloney. Baloney. Somebody actually came on and did that. Came on one of my live streams the other day and peddled that nonsense. And I asked him for sources to confirm. No. He said, couldn't find any sources. Right? This is what I talk about when I say propaganda. This is what I talk about when I say talking points. Okay? If you're voicing an opinion based on valid concerns, that's good. Okay? But if you're using someone else's talking points or propaganda, it's going to get called out. Period. Okay? My question again, why was this not a valid concern early in the season? His base running and his stealing. We have 4 other guys. He was brought here to drive in the other guys who run the bases, not to be the base stealer. We know this already. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what he does. 40-plus home runs, 100-plus RBIs. Okay? Would we like him to steal more bases? Sure. I don't really care if Ohtani steals a lot of bases. Great. Good for Ohtani. Doesn't mean Soto has to do the same thing. So, but other piece of news, and he's also said that he's 100% committed to competing with Steve Cohen's money. So very likely he's going to match. That whole Cohen is going to outbid people by $50 million. That seems like to be smoke too. The fact of the matter is, no agent's going to tell you what the highest bid is. Okay? They're not going to tell you that. They're just going to want you to bid as high as you possibly can over that. You get teams and owners to blink all the time. Okay? So he's not going to know what the highest bid is to bid $50 million over it. This is another reality. Okay? Randy Levine was at the meeting too. Boone, Cashman, Randy Levine, and Omar Minaya. So, but the fact that he told Juan Soto that we were going to make the necessary upgrades beyond him is a good selling point. And that's the selling point you need to make. But saying it is one thing. We need him to actually do it. We need him to deliver on it, right? And hopefully he'll do that. Now, how much, we'll see what non-tender moves are going to be made. You could probably clear up another $10 million, something like that, maybe even more. So any trades are going to make can clear up more payroll. So you could have another 10 or 20, $25 million available in payroll soon, which can make it a completely different attack in the offseason. So stay tuned. I'll keep you updated. But I wanted to get you these details. That's one very important detail that I've been talking about for like weeks now. The selling point has to be Soto's going to come back to a better team. And Hal told Juan Soto that. He made it clear. And if he's saying that, he means business. Okay, he would not just go there and put smoke up his butt. He's not going to do that. Not Hal Steinbrenner. Okay, so hopefully that gives us a little bit of relief, makes some of you feel a little bit better. But again, like I said, saying is one thing. He's got to deliver on that promise now. Absolutely has to deliver on it. And if he doesn't, can't argue with frustration of fans. Neither can Hal. So he's got to deliver on us now. We need him to bring in Juan Soto. There's not a single player that matches the impact that Juan Soto has for this team. Not a single player out there. Not even Shohei Ohtani. Okay? And again, that boils down to a fit, too. Shohei Ohtani is perfect for the West Coast. Juan Soto is perfect for the Bronx. Okay? This just is what maybe it should be that way anyway. So stay tuned. I'll keep you updated. Any of the news comes out today, you're going to get it. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you so much for your support. As always, I appreciate all of you. I'll talk to you later.